Congratulations to the LA Chargers, and they get a trio of good news as they get ready to prepare and play the Houston Texans. If you're new to the channel, we're Detroit Lions fans, but this channel fully dedicated to the Chargers because we're Jim Harbaugh fans. So we started at the beginning of the year to kind of see how he could rebuild. Could he rebuild this team? You know, what could happen? And lo and behold, you're in the playoffs playing the Texans. You probably got the best matchup of anyone in the playoffs. We'll look at that here in just a second. But there's been some good news since the playoffs have been announced. And let's get started with this. First of all, let me know in the comments. Now that you're in the playoffs, you see the bracket. We'll get to that in just a second. Who has to play well for you outside of the quarterback? Outside of the quarterback is like, man, we need the running game to go. We need Quentin Johnston to be a baller. We need Derwin James. Who just has to play well for you is the interior offensive line. Let me know in the comments. Okay, here's some good news. First off is you're playing the Houston Texans. This is the bonus one. This really isn't. I'm not really getting on this one. By the way, my hair, I'm just going, wow. I don't know what happened. Look out. Houston Texans. This is great. This is exactly who you want. I'm going to show you that in just a second. That's a bonus good news. That's kind of the obvious one. Second one that I think, or the first real one, is you saw last game Quentin Johnston play well. And you just saw it. 13 receptions, 186 yards. Both were career highs. You're like, oh, okay. We know we got Ladd McConkey. We know we don't have just elite outside playmakers. We know that we're just going to need somebody to step up. And that's why I asked that question to start this video. And it's like, Quentin Johnston, that's good news. Just to see that he's capable of doing it. So that's good news. Number one is that Quentin Johnston can make it happen if he needs to. Now, another one, right, and that same kind of, it's different but the same, is your linebacker, Henley. He's been playing at such a high level. He gets an interception last week. Same type of thing, right? Where it's like, oh, okay. You're actually getting better later in the season as we enter into the playoffs. So that's another good news situation right there, is that you are playing, two guys are playing at high levels at positions you need, and that positions you've kind of wrote off as the season's gone on. It's like, you know what? We don't really have a bunch of receivers. Well, what if Quentin Johnston? Well, defensively, we got Derwin James, we got this, we got that, but I don't know. Well, what if Henley can play really well? So that's good news. The other good news is that you are playing, and we talked about it here, a team in the Texans that just quite frankly have not been playing well. And I mean, not even close. It's really weird because Houston, CJ Stroud, it was like, man, look at this. Like, they're going to be great. This is last year, right? And it just hasn't been there. Stroud all season. It's not just the last 4 games. It's not the last 5 games. It's pretty much all season. So you can count on he's just not seeing it well. Interior offensive line is not held up for him, and it's just messed with him. That's the team you get to play. And so here is what is so good about that. You get the draw of the Houston Texans just struggling, and they're in a bad division, so that's why they get the 4th seed. The 4 division winners get the top 4 seeds. The next great thing about this, and I don't have to explain how a bracket works, but in some ways you kind of forget that you don't have to play some of these teams that you see here, depending on what happens, right? It's survive in advance. So it's not, sometimes I think, oh man, we're in the playoffs and, Ravens, Chiefs, Bills. You survive in advance and the other teams knock each other out. So you could theoretically win. Maybe Pittsburgh upsets the Ravens. Now Pittsburgh plays Kansas City and you play Denver or Buffalo. So this is a tournament, and I know hopefully you haven't turned the video off by now and you're good. No crap, guy. I'm just saying you're in the best position, the AFC, with the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills. You don't have to play all 3 of those to get to the Super Bowl, if that makes sense. So it's like, man, let's just survive, advance against the Texans. Maybe we play the Chiefs. They don't want to see you for sure. I love that. Okay, We'll get back to that in just a second. But what I thought was interesting was how far the Chargers have come in just 1 year. Because look at what you're dealing with now. Let's pretend you're the Raiders. Pretend you're a team that's possibly looking for a coach. You see what a coach does. But I just really quick want to just show you who is potentially available. And it's just not great. Bill Belichick, no thank you. Joe Brady, no thank you. Pete Carroll, you're 80. Cohen, I don't know. I mean, your Baker Mayfield's having a good year. Brian Flores, he's done it already. It didn't work. Dolphins. Marcus Freeman, really? Notre Dame coach, right? My point in doing this, and I'm just rapid firing it really quick. You have a coach. You see how much it matters. You have one. You've got a quarterback, coach, quarterback. The rest you can figure out. If you're not just like totally dumb, you can draft well, get strategic free agents, and you're just going to be relevant for a long time if you have a coach and a quarterback, which you have, because look how hard it is to find it. Aaron Glenn, love him. I think he's going to be outstanding. I think he 100% gets the job. He's been with Dan Campbell. He sees how to do it. So that one, I would say yes. Maybe I'm biased on that one. John Gruden, no. He's been out. Jeff Hafley. I mean, who? Ben Johnson. I think he'll be great too. Vance Joseph, no thanks. Kingsbury, tried it, didn't work. Mike McCarthy, really just going to get fired and take him? Jesse Minter. Kellen Moore. I just want to go down. I mean, Ron Rivera, Deion Sanders, maybe Arthur Smith. You can see the names and who could possibly be available. It's tough. It's tough to find. Because it's like, well, just get a new coach. It's like, well, okay, well, who are you going to get? So if I'm a Chargers fan, I'm into the playoffs with some key players playing well, relatively healthy, playing the Houston Texans. We have a coach-quarterback combination for the next few years. I mean, who knows? No one can tell the future. That you got to be feeling really good about. You can win this game, and then it feels like you just got to shock the world once, and everything just is going to get weird, right? You win this game, shock the world. Now you're in the AFC Championship game. I don't know. I don't know. You're playing with house money is the other thing. Complete house money in this whole deal because you just see it. It's like it's going to work. We don't even have a full complement of players yet because you look at the Lions who they've gone draft class, Jahmyr Gibbs. You look at Sam Laporta. You look at these skill position players. Jameson Williams, Aiden Hutchinson, Penei Sewell. You start drafting well and combine it with the coaching quarterback, it's lights out and it's over. So you got to be excited. Now, if we go back here, I do want to go back to, I think it's important to look at the Houston Texans and what their season has looked like because you can kind of see it. So we did this the other day, but they start off 5-1. Beat Buffalo. Shout out to them on that one. But outside of that win there in those first 5 wins, it's Indy, Chicago, Jacksonville, New England. So then they play Green Bay and lose, Indy and win. And then they go through this little stretch right here that's like, it's just Tennessee, beat Jacksonville, beat Miami. But then Kansas City, Baltimore just handle them completely. Then they're able to get on top of Tennessee. Just been an up and down season. And you've got them at the perfect time. Take advantage of everything that they're kind of going through. CJ Stroud, he explained why he wasn't playing well. And this is what I always think is interesting. CJ Stroud said, I thought we came with good energy from the locker room pregame, was excited, Christmas Day. He was talking, this is that Ravens, just they didn't score. Then we came out flat. I threw an interception. We made it worse. So things that we can't control. We approach the game. We can control this, blah, blah, blah. I'm being an energy vampire. Then I got to check myself in those moments. It is what it is, and I'll learn from it and move on. He has thrown crucial picks, and he's held on to the ball. it goes hand in hand, right? You throw crucial picks because you're getting pressure into your offensive line is not good. They don't have a good offensive line. That's what you need. That's what you need in the National Football League's offensive line. They don't have it. So what happens in response to that? He throws the ball away or takes sack. And so this is just setting up so well for the Chargers. So you got to be excited about that. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Again, if you're new, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see all of you on the next one.